What is going on, everyone? Hope you all had a good weekend. As most of you probably know, Computex is going on this week over in Taiwan, which means we're going to see a lot of hardware news coming from all of the big players in the industry, NVIDIA, AMD, as well as the other guys, case manufacturers, cooler manufacturers, CPUs, all that good stuff. We're probably going to be seeing news coming pretty much with a good cadence throughout the entire week, and I wanted to kick things off with a story that I think is going to be of particular interest to many of my viewers anyway, which is concerning the upcoming NVIDIA GeForce graphics cards, which have been rumored so many times now. We thought we were going to get them back in April, and then the rumors were pushed up to June or July, August, and then only to come back to July. But now we have actual words from Jen-Hsun himself saying that we will not be seeing new GeForce graphics cards for a long time. He was asked about this during Computex, and that's his exact words. Don't expect to see them for a long time. Now, obviously, a long time is kind of a subjective term, but I would feel he would be very misleading if he were to actually mean, end of July or August, if that is what his definition of a long time is. I don't really think that's going to be the case. If you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments below. But personally, my opinion of it is a long time. I'm not expecting to see them until 2019. That's just what I'm taking away from this. It's just my guess, just stab in the dark, really, because he says it's going to be a long time, so I don't see it coming out in summer, and probably not in like September, October. And then after that, we're getting into the holidays, and we're probably not going to see a new GPU launch anytime around that time, so it's probably not going to be until 2019. So if you've been sitting around waiting for a new generation of GeForce graphics cards, you should probably stop holding your breath for that event, because it doesn't look like it's going to be coming anytime soon. And if you need a graphics card right now to see you through the next, 8-9 months, whatever it is, then it's probably best to go out and get whatever you can afford right now, and maybe you can upgrade at a later date, or maybe you'll just be happy with your card for a few years, as the 10 series is still going really strong. Like I said, I've said this in previous videos, there really haven't been any really demanding games that have come out that would really necessitate having a GPU upgrade, unless you're looking at doing things like 4K along those lines. But if you're wanting to get into 1080, 1440p, or even ultra-wide gaming, there are cards from both NVIDIA as well as AMD that can fit into those different brackets, supporting resolutions, different refresh rates, and all of that with the current technology that's out there. So we really don't necessarily need a new GPU lineup right now. I just think as enthusiasts, we all kind of want a new GPU lineup, because it's been over 2 years now. It's been over 2 years since the GTX 1080 came out and the 1070. 1060 came out around July, I believe it was, of 2 years ago, 2016. So yeah, over 2 years now since the 10 series launched. So it's been quite a while. We're not used to waiting this long for a new lineup from NVIDIA. So I think that's why so many of us are just like, where the hell are these new cards? And when are they going to be coming? Well, according to Jen-Hsun, it's not going to be for a quote-unquote long time. Now, this didn't stop NVIDIA from talking about their new Isaac platform, which they're going to be using for their next generation of autonomous machines, self-driving vehicles, things along those lines. So they were, quick to kind of talk about that stuff with their new architecture on that called Isaac. But I don't really think that's of particular interest probably to many of you out there. Although if you're a tech head, hey, that information is out there, but that's pretty much their major announcement. Nothing really GeForce GTX related, except for this one offhand comment about Jen-Hsun saying the new GeForce cards are a long way out. Now, another announcement that I saw that I thought was kind of interesting is that Asus is going to be launching a console gaming monitor, which I thought was pretty interesting. We don't have a price on this guy just yet, but it is going to be 31.5 inches. It's going to be 4K, and they are saying it is going to have HDR as well as adaptive sync support for 40 to 60 hertz on consoles that support it. Recently, the Xbox One X had announced that it was going to be supporting FreeSync, so something like that should be supported on this particular display at 40 to 60 hertz. And it is advertising that it's HDR, but it's only VESA display HDR 600 compliant, which is to say it's kind of right in the middle of the road. It's not all the way at the bottom end of the spectrum for some of these pseudo HDR monitors, but it's also not hitting that peak brightness of 1000 nits, which is what you really want for a true HDR display. So this is kind of somewhere in the middle, and I'm expecting the price point to kind of reflect that. I don't think this thing is going to be $2,000 like the upcoming 4K 144 hertz monitors. I'm guessing this thing is going to be under $1,000, but it is going to be 32 inches in 4K, which is actually Pretty nice even just for a PC monitor. Now, I don't really know why too many console gamers would want to get a monitor like this for gaming, even though it's got these little stands and everything for the controllers, which I guess is kind of nice. But for me, like right now, I recently got a PS4 Pro. I talked about that on the channel, and the thing I've been enjoying most about it is that I get to do it on the couch. Besides the fact that it has some pretty good exclusives on there, I like being able to do it on the couch. It's much more comfortable than sitting at a desk, and it's a nice escape every once in a while to just get away from the desk where I'm usually either working or playing games with my friends. So it's just a way of kind of getting out of the office a little bit, even if it's just going downstairs to the living room and sitting on the couch for an hour or two and, you know, playing some Last of Us or the Nathan Drake collection or God of War or whatever. So I don't really know why someone would, if they're playing with a controller, why they would want to be bound to a desk like we are with a mouse and keyboard, which I think has its place. I love mouse and keyboard gameplay, but for me at least, playing on a console is kind of an escape from getting away from the desk so that I can sit on the couch and just kind of relax and forget about work and all that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe for like streamers, I could see that this could have a use case if they wanted to be streaming at their desk where their computer is, if they're streaming to a capture card inside of a system rather than over like the PSN network or whatever. I could see that use case for it, but for the vast majority of console gamers, I would want to know, if you are one of these people that would consider getting this, why you would want to game at a desk on a monitor as opposed to, you know, sitting in your living room or laying back on your bed playing on a much larger television screen. So I'll just be curious to see what people have to say about that. I didn't see any release date information on this yet. Asus also did reveal like a super ultra wide display, which is going to be 3840 by 1080. But yeah, it's only 1080p. We saw that Samsung one recently, but Samsung is actually going to be following that up with a 1440 32:9 display. So as this being a 1080p 32:9 doesn't really interest me all that much. Even it's 49 inches and it's a 1080p screen. I mean, what more do you really need to say? Not worth the cost of admission, if you ask me. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. I got a lot more testing to do with AMD's Store MI, which is their new tiered storage solution for AMD Ryzen processors. Really impressive stuff. That video will be going into your sub box tomorrow, so make sure that you are subscribed for that content, as well as any other emerging topics that come out of Computex. If something's exciting, I think you guys might want to hear about it. Of course, I will cover those on the channel throughout the week as well. But until then, I will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're not already. Ta-ra.